All right, so chapter 3 is all about transformations and solving. So make sure that you copy down that title. And today what we're going to do is we are going to focus on transformations. Okay, and so one of the first transformations that we are going to deal with is reflections, right? So that's definitely a type of transformation. So make sure that you copy that down. A formal definition will be given to you later. We're not going to worry about this previous problem, so about Hunter and all the things. Really what I want to focus on is that a reflected figure is called an image. So whenever you're looking at the original drawing, the original picture, the original figure, we call it the original. Anything that has some sort of transformation to it, we call the image. And so when we reflect, we usually have some sort of line of reflection, and things to kind of focus on is what the kind of picture looks like. So if you've ever looked into a mirror, right, and you've seen your reflection, you hold up your right hand or your left hand, and it almost looks like it's the opposite hand, right? That's a type of reflection, right? You can see it in a mirror, you can see it in water of some sort. So notice this image of the snowman. So notice that he is facing or she is facing one direction, right? And notice on the image, it's facing the opposite direction. Nothing else has changed. So notice that the shape of the snowman is still the same. Notice the 3 dots are still in the same place. Notice that you still have a scarf over here. So we don't want to make our snowman larger or smaller. So what I want you to do is on your resource page, you see these images. And so all of these dashed lines are our line of reflection. So what I want you to do is I kind of just want you to make sure that you write down line of reflection and draw kind of an arrow to these dashed lines. And then what I want you to do is I want you to pause this video and I want you to try to recreate these images, right? So if you were to reflect this over, kind of what would that look like? You may use the patty paper provided to you to kind of help you with that. So go ahead and pause the video now and try to draw that line, the new image. Okay. So you should have unpaused our video. So what we want to see is we want to see the same shape. We want to see the same distance. So notice that this lovely shape almost looks like a boat on its side. Notice that it's one box away from this line of symmetry. So that means that when I recreate it, I want to have one line right here. We notice that it kind of goes up to an angle, right, over this one box. So that means I would go up to an angle right here. Then it looks like it goes across. So it goes across right here again. Notice that I'm trying to keep the same distance. And then it goes down one shape. It goes over one shape, down one, over one, and then down two, 1, 2, and then connects it. Right? So I don't have the best drawing capabilities on this program. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you what the image looks like after you've reflected them. Okay, so again, here's the better image. So all these are your new image. And again, this would be your original. So make sure that somewhere on your paper, you kind of copy down what's known as the original and the image. Right, so again, notice the distances, there's symmetry. So notice this T, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, angle, an angle away. Notice that 6 didn't actually change because this letter M already has symmetry. You might have had some difficulty on 4. This is very specific type of line that we are going to draw in just a second. But again, notice that vertical line becomes a horizontal line. And it is still one distance away from this line of reflection. So go ahead, pause the video, make sure that you have the same measurements and the picture looks exactly the same. If you're coming back from unpausing it, I want you to take a moment and I want you to look at these and just ask yourself, are these reflections? And if they're not reflections, what do you think they actually are? Right? So pause the video, kind of just in your head, think of what they could be. All right, so number 1 is going to be a reflection. So reflection. So notice that this bolt of lightning is facing one way. Notice that this bolt of lightning is facing another way. Number two. Number two is not a reflection over this line. This one we will talk about in another video is actually a rotation. So I want you to think of like turning a knob one direction. So we're rotating it over this line. So this would be a line of rotation, things like that. Number three. So number three doesn't look like it's a reflection. It also doesn't look like it's been a rotation. It almost looks like it slid down, right? So it kind of a slide. This is a type of transformation. We don't call it a slide. What we call it is a translation. And again, we'll talk about that meaning and definition a little bit later on in another video. And number four is a reflection. So again, we are reflecting it over that line. Oops, so make sure I spell that correctly. So this one is a reflection. So hopefully you did well. If not, you will get extra practice with this in a little bit. All right. So on your resource page, I want you to find the blank graph. And what I want you to do right now is I want you to take a moment, pause the video. I want you to plot these points, G, L, and M, connect them. And then I want you to draw a line, y is equal to x. So when we graph this line, this means that you have a 1 in front of the x and we don't have a b value. So that means our slope is 1, our b value is 0. So that way it kind of helps you with that. So go ahead, pause the video, draw these three, connect them together. All right, if you're coming back from the paused video, right? So what we're going to draw is we're going to draw this image right here. So this will be G, and then 2, 7 is L, and then 5, 6 is M. I am going to go ahead, I'm going to connect my points so that way we can see our image a little bit clearer. I'm going to draw this line. I'm going to draw it in a different color. So if here's my starting point, this point, here we go. I'm just going to draw some points along the way. And again, I could go down, not that we need to. And if you want to connect these points together, that's fine. I'm going to have some difficulty doing that, so I'm going to leave it as a dashed line. So if we reflect it over this y is equal to x line, and again, hopefully you used patty paper to kind of help you, what you'll notice is that this image is actually on the other side. And I'm going to show a picture because I don't think I can do justice by copying it down. But what's going to happen, right, here is our y is equal to x line. Notice that your m, right, your m is now 6, 5 versus the original m, which was 5, 6. So what do you think you should have noticed, right? So if we come back over here, we answer this, what do you observe, right? What we should have written down for part B is that the x and y coordinates switched. All right, so very important. Our x and y coordinates switched. Okay, so notice here this would be 2, 7, and here this should be 7, 2. I also want you to take note, which we'll talk about in the next video. Notice that this G looks like it has an apostrophe attached to it. Okay, we're going to write what this is, but we need a symbol to make sure that we know which shape we are talking about, and that's going to be our symbol to help us. So this was our original shape, and then this was our image shape, right? And so this is called the prime symbol, and we're going to talk about that in the next video.